Hey everybody, today we're talking a little bit about a game called Rolling Ranch. This is another one of those games for the channel as well as your classroom because it is infinitely scalable. We can all play it and it is a good time. Lots of interesting little decisions, runs a little differently than all the other games we've played, and this one can get done in, I'd say, about 20 minutes. So without further ado, let's get to the ranch. Alright, like with all of our games, Rolling Ranch, you can get our template down below in the description of this video, and there you'll find these rules, this rule video, as well as the rules to the game itself. And on top of that, you will get a link to our template that you can print off, or if you have a Chromebook that you can kind of write on the screen, and or an iPad, you can download that. They're a PDF, and then you can kind of draw over them. All right, first things first, everyone gets dealt one of these cards. Now in our live stream, we're going to do that a little differently. I'm going to lay a couple of them out. These are goal cards, and each of them have 2 goals on them, and I'm going to lay out like 2 or 3 in frame, and I'm going to give you guys different ways to sort of choose which one's your goal. You'll be able to see those like this on the live stream, and then I'll have space to sort of roll the die, and this is all we're going to need to do really for setup. All right, let's take a moment to look at the board here. The main piece of the board is your farm. This is where we're going to be putting our die rolls that we have. So every round we begin with this. We begin by rolling our dice, and I'll put those in frame here. You can, on your turn, you're going to make a choice of 3 different things you can do. You can save this animal. That's what they call it. They call it saving. You're going to put it in your farm, or you can save this animal. And then the third thing you could do is you could collect resources. Let's look at how that happens. If you're saving this animal, you use the number printed on the other die, and the opposite's true. If you save the blue die, then you look at the number in the corner of the yellow die, and that is going to correspond to this player board. So for example, if I'm going to save the cow, then I'm going to look at this die, and I have to put it in a 4, one of these spots here that has a 4. And the larger the sort of penned area, if I can continue to make that all cows, I'm going to get a bigger bonus, but it has to be on the number 4. So I can put a cow there. Now, if you want to draw a cute little cow, you can do so, but down below on our player sheet here, it shows us a little easier quick reference, chicken being that triangle, pig being the circle, and cow being the square. So that is what I chose to draw. The other thing you could do on your turn is collect resources, and that's up in the right hand corner. So in this particular roll, we have 3 planks of wood and then another plank of wood. So I'd get to put 4 planks of wood. I'd get to fill in any one of these buildings, or I could even split it up 4 planks. So I just would sort of color in, color in, color in, color in. And again, I could split that up. If I ever filled it all up, including this sort of metal spike here, the nail, then in this case, I'd get to fill in one of those circles. And now I have that sort of power up. So each of the barns can do one of the power ups. This barn can do one of those power ups. And then each of the warehouses, you get to use this bonus like once, twice. This one, use the bonus once, twice. And then the greenhouses score a little differently, so we're going to talk about those in a little bit. And that's it for what you do on your turn. So I'm going to roll the 2 die. You're going to save this animal by that number, or save this animal by that number, or collect the resources. That's sort of the normal flow. The next and last thing we do on our turn is check for breeding. We see if the 2 dice have hearts in the lower right hand corner. So we have 1 die that has a heart, but the other one doesn't, so breeding doesn't happen. Let's just say this die did have the heart. So boom, if this was what was rolled, then what happens is we check all of our pens, and if any pen had 2 of the same animal and still had a free spot left. So I have three pens sort of here. I have this pen here with a piggy, this pen here with a chicken, and this pen here with two cows. So I then would get to fill in a free cow in that pen. If that pen didn't have room, it cannot go over to another pen. You can do this for multiple pens. So you could have every one of your pens get in a free guy. This is an interesting strategy playing towards that breeding, but it has to come up on the die for it to work out. Your pens, taking a look at this, can have mixed animals. So for example here, I could put a cow here and a chicken. That's fine. It's just going to affect your scoring here. This is what happens on your turn. Before we get to the next turn, before I roll these dice again, we check to see if we completed, and in my little example, a pen. I did. And then we ask ourselves, how big is that pen? That pen is three big. Are they all the same animal? If they're all the same animal, you check this part of the chart here. So if they were all chickens, 3 chickens would be 4 points. If they were all pigs, it'd be 7 points. If they're all cows, it'd be 10 points. You saw this was a mix. So we're all filled. So all filled, but different stuff is 3 points. Now I keep saying filled, and this is important, is how big the space was and how many of the animal you have. So looking at this sort of scoring chart here, we look at the size of the pen and how many animals are in there. And in this case, we had 3 animals, so we got 3 points. Had they been all chickens, they'd be 4 points. Had they been all pigs, they'd been 7 points. Had it been all cows, it would have been 10 points. However, let's look at another example here. Let's say I built a building in this, and let's say I built another building, greenhouse. And let's say I had a pig and a pig. Ooh, I have just finished, this would be over many rounds. I had just finished that pen, but I only actually have 2 animals in there. The pen's done because the buildings are done. But over here, I could say they're all pigs, but I only have 2 pigs. You're scored based on the size, the number of animals you have in that pen. Hopefully, they're the same type. We're just going to continue to do that loop over and over again. Roll the die, either save this animal based on that die or save this animal based on that number, right? Placing it in our thing or collecting the resources and building buildings. You can put buildings anywhere. Let's go over some of these building powers, and then I'm going to tell you about the end of the game. All right, going down the list of possible buildings, we have 2 barns. These barns is if you roll the same number. So if 3 and 3 came up, for example, this is what this is saying. If X equals X, this is a bonus action. You're still going to get to save one of the animals or collect resources. But if I fill in this one, I would also get 2 additional planks. Instead, if I filled in this one, I'd get to put a chicken anywhere in the board that I want. Anywhere. Pretty powerful. The other one works the same way. You fill all these in. You then can either choose this, and if it was rolled the same number again, you can put a nail somewhere in one of these buildings. Could help you really build faster, would be awesome. This other one allows you, if they're doubles, you can, this X says ignore number, the pig says you can kind of ignore the animal. So if it rolls double, you would get to place an animal anywhere you want. It'd be any number and any animal. Pretty awesome, I know, right? All right, now let's look at the 2 warehouses. The 2 warehouses, if you fill them all up, you then, this first warehouse, you get the ability to twice ignore the number. That's what that graphic is saying. And you can just cross out that box when you use one of them, cross off the other box when you use the other. The other warehouse, you can see this coming, is you can kind of ignore the animal you're saving. So then you are going to look at one of the numbers, but say that I'm saving a cow, which isn't depicted right now. But I do have to base it on this 3 or that 4. So that's pretty powerful. The greenhouses are, it challenges you to build all of them. If you build one, it is worth 5 points. If you build a second one, then we get 12 points. If you build all three, they are worth 20 points. That would be amazing. So trying to fit those in on your board is important. But again, choosing to sort of place those where you place those, that takes away some of the scoring you're going to get from the animals in the pen. So it's all that balance, right? Now let's talk about the end game. The game ends when any one player has fully populated their farm. And so when we're playing on the live stream, if any one of you type in the thing that you have filled that, and I'm working on these buildings, which means I didn't save as many animals, then the game's over that round. And we total up our score, which you can keep track of up here. So when you finish, you know, zone A, you'd write the points there. When you finish zone B, you'd write the points there. At the end of the game, you're going to do those points. You're going to see if you have greenhouse points. You're going to get warehouse points, and that is, you get a point per square that's filled in its pen, including itself. So if we put a warehouse, let's show you that here, and we had 2 animals there and we didn't finish it at the end of the game, then that warehouse would be worth 3 points. 1 for itself and 1 for these 2 animals each. If I got another one, then it could have been worth 4 points. So you get that warehouse bonus. Then this is saying your card bonus that we were playing with. So if you had one of these card bonuses, I'm not going to go over what those bonuses are. They are on our second page of the rule sheet that you can kind of take a peek at your goals. If you achieve them, you get the star associated with them, those points, and you total it all up and put it right here. And that's it. That would be the score. If there is a tie at the end of the game, then the player who triggered the end of the game wins. If they aren't involved in the tie, then it's who built the most buildings. They win the tie. After that, it's a shared victory. That's it. That's how you play Rolling Ranch. And like I said, fun little decisions that you have to make along the way. I like the theme. I think it's pretty cool. Neat mechanic with the breeding and seeing if you can get some free placements of animals. But that's it. That's Rolling Ranch. I hope you guys enjoy playing Rolling Ranch with us on the live stream. If you want to, please join in on our Let's Play. If you could, subscribe down below, hit the like button so that other people know about this video, share this video out, and join our community. Again, you can get all the resources down below, as well as check out our Let's Play website, which details all sorts of videos like this and games you can play in your classroom with unlimited players. That's all I'm paying attention to. There's lots of other cool roll and writes out there, but this channel's only focused on ones you can play with everyone. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you have a good day. Take care.